Hey there, guys. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and welcome to another episode of Relaxing Reviews. Today, I'm taking a look at a pair of headphones. Now, I am pretty frequently solicited by companies to check out their headphones, and most of the time, I decline these offers because, quite frankly, most headphones just aren't that interesting. However, when I was contacted by a company named Mu6 to check out their Space 2 active noise cancelling headphones, my interest was piqued. And that's because the Space 2 headphones purport to offer the features and quality of high-end name brand noise cancelling headphones from the likes of Sony, Bose, Sennheiser, all for about half the price. Mu6, you have my attention. The Space 2 offer, of course, active noise cancelling, wireless functionality by Bluetooth 5, but also a host of other smart convenience features, things like auto pause when you take the headphones off, what Mu6 calls their smart touch and talk tech, which basically reduces the volume and turns off the noise cancellation and allows in external noise when you hold a palm against one of the ear cups. Integrated assistant support for instance, Siri or Google Assistant, and a handful of other features that set it apart from various other competing headphones. And it does all this for $140, at least right now. You see, the Space 2 aren't actually publicly available yet because they are currently in their crowdfunding phase. You can find their crowdfunding page on Indiegogo, and if you snag one of the early bird versions of the headphones, you'll get it for $140. After that, Mu6 claims that the price is going to go up to $250, which is still somewhat less than many of those high-end headphones from name brand competitors, but it's getting further into premium territory. Nonetheless, the feature set that these headphones are offering seemed interesting to me and certainly worth checking out in a review. So here we are. Mu6 has kindly sent over what I can only assume is an early production version of the Space 2 headphones, although, as you'll see, they do come in what looks like retail packaging, so I'm assuming that this is a full production version and is representative of what you would be getting if you were to purchase it through their Indiegogo. So we're going to take a look at that here today. We'll do the unboxing. It's got a companion app that we'll check out. I will, of course, go through rigorous listening tests, and we'll come back here and I'll share with you my experiences with Mu6's Space 2 headphones. So without further ado, let's check them out. So here we have the Mu6 Space 2 in box. This box shipped in a padded envelope and came shrink wrapped, and I've removed the shrink wrap. And the box itself looks pretty nice. It's got a very professional look about it. It looks like a premium sort of product. Lots of subtle black coloration going on here. We have the Mu6 logo up here in the top left corner. We have an image of the Space 2 headphones. And it says here in very widely spaced font, noise cancelling headphones. I feel like it's very expanded. Stylistic choice. And then Space 2, music and you. Over here it looks like we've got a list of features. So what do they say? I'm going to turn this around. so I can see a little more easily. They're actually quite hard to see because it's like black text on dark gray icons. Well, it says noise cancelling, for one, that much we know. It also says 40 decibels of noise cancelling, so I guess that's some average measurement of how much noise is cut by their hybrid noise cancelling system. They've got little icons of an airplane, a train, a bus, and a city, I guess to indicate typical use cases for noise cancelling. Premium noise cancelling performance. All cases self-adaptive ANC system, it says. Cutting edge technology. What is this? ZRO2 coding technology unit? I think it's supposed to be a picture of the driver, but I'm not sure. Also, what is ZRO2? It's not zinc, that's ZN, ZR. I should know that. What compound, or what element that is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll look it up. Comfort and convenience. Swivel folding design, so it can fold up into a compact unit. Comfort and convenience again. Intuitive 3D touch control. Yeah, we'll look at that in a moment, but that's kind of a neat feature. And again, comfort and convenience. Auto, pause, and play. Another neat feature. These headphones do seem to be packed with a variety of clever convenience features. Then around this side says Mu6 Connect. Available on the App Store and Google Play. It's some kind of app that you can use with these headphones. What does it say? Mu6 Connect provides users with better firmware upgrade experience to make sure your headset is always in optimal performance. I see. So it pairs with your headset and you can upgrade the firmware that way. I should hope it does some other things too. We'll find out. Over here we have a picture of an astronaut. Because why not, I guess? And it says travel in space with Mu6 headphones. I see, because it's the Space 2. Right. From their marketing material, I get the impression that the space refers to the personal space that is created by the noise cancelling. It gives you your own private space to listen to music. That seems to be what they're going for with that name. And then down here it says Music's Honor Produced. I guess that's like a promise of quality. I'm honestly not sure what that's supposed to be saying. Okay, nothing on the top of the box here except a tab, I guess, for hanging it on a store shelf, like a hook on a display. But of course this is from the internet. And then all kinds of stuff on the back here. Wow, okay, we could spend a while looking at this literature, but let's just do the highlights here. It says ASAS all-case self-adaptive noise cancelling system. Mu6 automatically adapts to the surroundings with modified algorithms and smart sensors, providing the astounding noise cancellation in all kinds of environments. Yeah, so noise cancelling is something they're really talking up with these phones. They seem to be very proud, I suppose, of their noise cancelling. So that's certainly something I'll be testing. I've tested a couple sets of noise cancelling headphones before, and to be totally honest, I've never been that impressed with noise cancelling. But granted, that was a couple of years ago. and they were cheaper products. So I'm keen to see what Mu6 has been able to do here. Superior sound quality, featuring music compensation technology. What does that mean? Mu6 adjusts the level of noise cancellation to best match your environment while still ensuring the optimal audio fidelity. So there's some kind of adaptive noise cancellation that takes into account, I guess, the frequencies of what you're listening to as well, maybe. Honestly, not quite sure what they're getting at there. Intuitive touch control. So the one of the ears is basically a big touch surface, and you can use gesture control of swiping forwards and backwards and up and down to control the headphones as well as tapping. So we'll take a look at that. Enhanced comfort for all-day wear. Protein leather ear pads, as one might expect. That's, I believe, a synthetic leather. Auto pause and play, we already saw that. And smart touch and talk. Yeah, this is another kind of neat feature, at least on paper. It says simply cup the left ear cup with your hand for a quick conversation with others. So what it does is it automatically deactivates the noise cancellation, and then I believe it actually uses the microphones that are normally used for noise cancellation. It uses those to pick up and amplify voices so that you can hear voices more easily when you're wearing them and you touch that left ear. So that's kind of cool, at least in theory. We'll see if it works in practice. Uses, of course, Bluetooth 5.0, 10 meters maximum range. Supports a bunch of Bluetooth protocols, including A2DP, AVRCP, HFP, HSP. Honestly, I'm not super knowledgeable about the differences between those protocols. And a variety of codecs. SBC, AAC, aptX, aptX LL. Oh, that's interesting. aptX LL stands for aptX low latency, which is certainly something I will be testing with these headphones, because latency is a big issue with a lot of Bluetooth products. So if it can in fact use the low latency standard codec, maybe it won't be so bad. We'll see. Built-in rechargeable battery. Up to 20 hours of playback time with ANC on. Presumably more playback time with ANC off. Okay, well, I said I was going to give you the summary, but instead we just looked at everything there, because that's how we roll here on Relaxing Reviews. And then some social contact stuff. And of course an image of the headphones folded up here. Alright, let us open this up and see what we've got. This is another one of those boxes where it doesn't have any cutouts to help you grab it, but it does seem to be opening relatively easily. There we are. So inside, the Mu6 are in a carrying case, which makes sense. The inside of the lid is padded. It's a nice touch. Okay. Let's take these out for a moment. Put that aside. We will, of course, take a closer look at that momentarily. But what else we've got? We've got a guide. Slightly stylized there. Nothing else in the box. That's all we get. So presumably anything else like USB charging cable and such will be contained inside the carrying case. But let's take a quick look at this guide. So this is just an insert. Oh, what is this? Thank you. Thank you for choosing Mu6 headphones to enhance your daily listening experience. We sincerely hope you're satisfied with your purchase. The Mu6 team. I don't know how I feel about this person. They're kind of frowny, aren't they? I don't know. But that's fine. Here we go. This is, yeah, they're asking you to, I think, register your product. It says here, you will get 6 months more warranty period extended. But it doesn't say anything about the default warranty, does it? If you don't know how to express your newfound joy, we've got a few suggestions. Share it on social media, blah, blah, blah. Connect us with our official website or social media platform. Then you will get 6-month warranty period extended. So, I guess, yeah, that's weird. Somehow if you follow them on social media, they'll give you a longer warranty. That doesn't make sense. But there's a support email here as well. Anyway. But that does beg the question, what is the default warranty length? I'm hoping it's at least a year. An additional 6 months is not all that generous, to be honest. So this is our quick start guide. What do we have? App download. We will look at that app after we've done the unboxing and all that here. Mu6 Connect, blah, blah, blah. Provides personalized settings. Okay, so it does do more than just update the firmware. I'm going to turn this my way so I can actually see what's going on here. Power on and off, Bluetooth pairing. We've got all kinds of languages, so this is clearly an international package. It looks pretty straightforward. And it is nicely produced. This is a far cry from most of the manuals that I get in, you know, budget Chinese keyboard boxes, for sure. Then again, this is substantially more expensive than a budget Chinese keyboard, so one should hope it's a little bit more nicely produced. ANC, okay, so it looks like there's 2 buttons, one for power and Bluetooth, and one for ANC. You can activate the voice assistant by double tapping the ANC button. Okay. You can cycle through a few different ANC modes, it looks like. On or off, and also transparency mode, which I guess is like that mode where it lets you, it actually amplifies outside sounds. Okay, so it's talking about gesture controls here. Looks like forwards and backwards is sliding left to right, and then up and down is volume, and then tap is play pause. Smart touch and talk, we already talked about that. It's got an audio input jack, so if you don't want to use it in Bluetooth mode, you can use it in wired mode. Intelligent play pause when you take it off. That's cool. That sounds smart. I hope it works. Charge it with USB Type-C. That's nice to see. And some specifications. What does it say here? ANC peak level at 40 decibels, frequency range 20 hertz to 1000 hertz, 40 millimeter dynamic drivers, frequency range is the typical 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. They always claim that. I don't know if it actually ever is that, but okay. 800 milliamp hour battery. That doesn't sound that big, but they claim it does give you 20 hours with ANC on and 24. Greater than 24, it says, with ANC off. 4-hour charge time to full charge. Oh, what is this? Is this talking about warranty? Nope, I don't know what the 5 and hoping somewhere in here it'll talk about warranty. An insurance certificate. Please keep this as a warranty certificate. Still doesn't tell you how long it lasts for. That's kind of annoying. Okay, well anyway, that's that. There's quite a bit of information there. It looks relatively nicely produced. So the next step is to open this thing up and take a look at the headphones. So this does seem to be a nice carrying case. It's got a kind of a, it's not a hard shell exactly, but it's not a soft shell exactly. Somewhere in between. I guess it's firm and should protect them reasonably well. Mu6 logo on the front, a zipper all the way around, and a little carrying loop. There's the zipper. Nothing of note on the back, but it does make kind of nice sounds, doesn't it? Alright, let's open it up. There are the headphones inside. They're very nicely packed in here, very compact in their default state. They appear, yeah, so they're made of plastic, which is probably to be expected, but slightly disappointing, honestly. But, well, we'll see. We'll see how they feel. They look nice. We've got the Mu6 logo on each ear there. It looks like in here we've also got some kind of fabric divider and some cables. Let's just pull those out for starters. So we've got a 3.5 millimeter audio cable, twist tied together, nothing special about it really. Gold-plated connectors, I guess, though whether they're actually gold-plated is anyone's guess. And we've got a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. I am really glad they went with USB-C. That is a modern standard of preference. No special branding on the USB cables, just generic black molding. They look to be of reasonable length though, both these cables. So that's good. Nothing else in here. Just those. Except for the headphones, of course. So let's take these out of here. It's a pretty snug fit. They fit very compactly into this carrying case. And nothing else in the case. This thing kind of just sits in there, I guess. Just a fabric divider thing. Put that aside. here are our headphones. What is this? I'm sure I can figure this out. Oh, see that rotates out. Like so. There we are. So I got a few points of articulation that makes them slightly puzzling to unfold and refold, but looks like they can fold in a few different ways. Relatively straightforward once you got it figured out. The hinges feel good. They've got a nice stiffness to them. They don't feel too loose. So the primary construction is all this matte black plastic, which has a nice sheen to it, and it's certainly preferable to glossy plastic, but I do get the feeling these are going to pick up fingerprints pretty quickly because I can already see them starting to do so as I'm handling them here. Just finger oils, and once you have them on your head, you're going to have, you know, hair oils and stuff on them as well, so betcha they'll get a little grimy, but we shall see. They're pretty light. They don't have a whole lot of weight to them, and they feel a little on the hollow side. They sound a little on the hollow side too, don't they? That ear cup sounds a little more solid, probably because there's some kind of stuff in there for this touch-sensitive surface. But they don't feel too very light. I mean, they feel maybe slightly on the lighter side. The band appears to be just plastic as well. There's quite a bit of flex. I'm not sure what the clamping strength is going to be like, but probably not that strong because they do bend quite a bit, quite easily. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. A looser fit, you know, could be more comfortable for extended wear. This is all plastic, 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 plastic. This is protein leather. And it's also padded on the underside of the headband. It's very soft, very, very soft. The ear cups, or the ear padding, is very, very soft. Again, I believe it is synthetic leather. But it's, yeah, very soft to the touch. And they're very squishy. It's like maybe memory foam inside, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of give there. I've worn much firmer feeling headphones. But again, that should make them comfortable. We've got an L and an R to let you know which ear is which. And this is interesting. And then look, in the left ear cup, we have a little hole with what looks like a little IR sensor or something. I bet you that's how it knows if you take them off. So that's how it automatically pauses your music or whatever when you remove the headphones. I think that's what that is. And then the inside is just fabric. Feels pretty soft. These are over the ear headphones, so the idea is your ear fits in this space and this seals around the ear. So these are not on-ear phones. Moving back to the outside of the cups, this side we've got just this big surface that doesn't do much. Oh, this I guess is the left ear cup, so this is where you put your palm when you want to enable transparency mode for when people are talking to you. We've got a little grill up here, which is probably a microphone. That would be for the noise cancellation. And then we've got a little Mu6 logo up here in a glossy finish. which is definitely going to get fingerprinty. But it's small, it doesn't really matter. What else? Around the edges of this ear cup, we've got our buttons. Okay, so this is the power on off, as well as Bluetooth pairing button, and there's a little LED there that no doubt indicates the power status, and it will flash and such for Bluetooth pairing. And this is the ANC button that you can cycle through the various ANC modes, apparently, according to the manual. And it also said you can double tap this for your assistant. USB-C charging and 3.5mm audio jack. This looks to be probably a microphone, I guess. Would make sense. These have a microphone for taking calls and such. And that is everything around that ear cup. So not very many hardware buttons, huh? Because there are no hardware buttons on this ear cup. Just a big touch surface here. Nothing going on over here. So again, according to the manual, you can swipe this way and that way to change tracks, or this way and that way for volume, and tapping in the middle is play pause. I'm very interested to see how that works in practice, because again, sounds cool, but I wonder if it'll be easy to find your position on the surface. You can see they've given us little raised bumps. There's just a little bit of height to these little, there you go, these little plastic bumps, which is presumably to help you find your way around when you're not looking at the surface, you're just feeling with your hand. But I do wonder how easy that'll actually be in practice. Nonetheless, it's a cool idea. We'll see. Another microphone here. These probably also serve as pressure relief vents, so that, you know, it'll seal around the ear, but it won't get pressurized in there. And the Mu6, sorry, it's Mu6. I kept calling it Mu6 for a while, but when I finally said it out loud, in my head I was calling it Mu6, but then when I said it out loud I realized, oh, Mu6, that's clever. I see what they're going for. And that's pretty much all there is to see here. Really nothing else going on. So my initial impressions are that they look fine, relatively professional. They certainly have a sort of reserved look about them. They're not like your Beats or anything like that. They're pretty reserved in their aesthetics. Some might say boring, but I guess that's all a matter of opinion. I don't think they look bad anyway. They look fine. In terms of build quality and such, they feel a little on the fragile side, at least initially. That's my first impression. There's a lot of plastic here. There's really no metal used, and at this price point, I would kind of hope to see some metal in the construction of these things. They are, moving into premium territory. So, but maybe it's, they're more durable than they initially appear. The joints, like I said, these hinges, they feel well made. They don't feel too loose. Don't think they're going to break anytime soon, but of course, the point of failure is always going to be some kind of moving or articulating point. So, we've got these two hinges here on the ear cup that allow it to rotate like this to better sit against your head. Then we've got this, which again lets it better fit your head, and then we've got this, which lets you fold it up. So hopefully all of those are durable. But I do like the nice, very soft ear pads. I bet you those will feel nice to wear. And I do expect it's going to pick up fingerprints, because it already is, like I was saying. You might be able to sort of... It's not too bad, but they're there. They're there. Okay, well, now we've had a chance to look at these headphones. I'm going to try them out a little bit. But we're also going to check out the app. That's an important piece of this puzzle, evidently. At least Mu6 seems to think it is. So that's going to be our next stop here. Let's take a look at the Mu6 Connect app. Okay, so I've actually used these headphones a bit now, tested them out a little bit, checked out some of the features that we've been talking about. I have some things to tell you about them, but not just yet, because right now we're going to check out the app, the Mu6 Connect app. I just downloaded it from the Google Play Store, and I just opened it. I have not used it yet, so this is going to be a first-time experience for me. So I've connected the headphones to my phone with using Bluetooth. It was very easy and quick to do, so that's good. This is what we're greeted with initially. This is not the most professional way to do this, but that's what we're going to do. So we have a language select to start with. I'm going to press OK for English. Alright, it says here, hello friend. Yes, Space 2. Oh, I didn't realize there was a former model of this. There's the Space 1 or the Space 2. I do apologize for the reflections on the screen and the fingerprints. So we're going to, I guess, add a Space 2. This big plus button down at the bottom here. Let's do that. Allow Mu6 to access this device's location. Well, I'd rather not, but apparently I have to, so I will allow it. So it appears to be searching. Oh, there. I guess it found it. Okay, yeah, no, it definitely seems to have found it. So what do we have here in the app? We have a big picture of our headphones, Space 2. And then we have ANC control, adaptive ANC strong, or what's this button do? Adaptive ANC normal. Okay, so we can toggle between ANC modes here. Interesting. There's an auto power off option here, which we can turn on or off. If disabled, the headset will not automatically power off until the battery is exhausted. I see, so that's off by default, but we can toggle that on, which is probably something we want to do. There's also an auto pause and play, which uses that sensor we saw, and we can turn that on and off in the software here. We've also got a language, which we already selected. We've got a reset option, and we've got a cloud upgrade option. And that's kind of it. I was hoping that there would be more here. Like maybe an equalizer or battery life indicator or something like that. But it doesn't seem to have that, which is too bad. So that's really it. It's just a picture of the headphones there, and then those few controls. Let's just see what cloud upgrade does. Space 2 and Mu6 noise cancelling headphones. Headphone firmware version is currently reported as version 1, but the available version is version 2. So why don't we check for updates? We've got a picture of a rocket ship here. Doesn't do anything, but check for updates should. Okay. firmware upgrades at 0%. Still at 0%. Oh, 1%. This could be my Wi-Fi just being crappy. Okay, well that's going to take a little while. I'm not going to do that live on camera right now. But I will do it and report back to you guys when I tell you about my usage experience with the headphones. But I will say usage experience with the app, a bit disappointing. Not that much going on here. Really not a lot of good reason to download it unless you really want those software toggles for those things. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but it's pretty sparse, this app. Pretty sparse right now. Okay, well, I'm going to go continue testing these out, putting them through their paces, listening to them with a variety of different kinds of audio content in a variety of different settings and conditions. I will let you know what I think of them in just a moment. And here we are. I've had ample opportunity now to extensively test out the Space 2 headphones, and I've formed some opinions on them, which I'm going to share with you now. Let's start out by talking about design. The design of these is, in a word, inobtrusive, I would say. They look relatively professional. They're not going to turn any heads. They're certainly not as aesthetically pleasing as much of the competition from name brand companies like Bose or like Sennheiser, but they're not ugly either, so they'll get the job done. This finish that we were looking at earlier when we were doing the unboxing is sort of satin finish. There's plastic all over. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, as you can maybe see. Let's see if it'll focus for me. There we go. Yeah, it's not showing up so well on camera, but you can sort of see there. This is after about a week of daily use. They don't look terrible, but they do look a little bit grimy, you know. Moreover, this plastic construction just feels kind of fragile. I feel like I have to treat them with care. I certainly wouldn't want to drop them. I think a few sort of metallic accents, a little bit of brushed aluminum here and there, would go a long way to making these feel more premium and more robust. That said, they are very comfortable, and I was able to wear these all day at work for many days in a row without any sort of fatigue, without noticing them on my head really at all. They're relatively light, so they don't feel heavy, and their clamping force, as we saw in the unboxing, is actually tuned just about right. They don't clamp down so hard that it's uncomfortable, but they're not going to fall off your head. That being said, I wouldn't go headbanging with these things, and so if you're looking for a pair of wireless headphones for more active pursuits like working out or doing a lot of jogging, these may not be the headphones for you. I think they're better for kind of hanging out, sitting in an office, on an airplane, in front of your computer, wherever you might be like that. They do have an adjustment on the headband, which can't remember if we looked at in the unboxing, but it just works like so. I will say that this adjustment on the headband is unfortunately a bit on the loose side, and I found that I was often pulling the headband to be larger when I was taking it off my head, just through this motion, through this action. So it would be nice if these notches that it sort of moves along here were a little firmer, a little more secure, because I did find that it was kind of sliding and slipping as I was just taking the headphones on and off my head. Next up, let's talk about controls. So as we saw earlier, the power and the noise cancelling controls, as well as the Bluetooth pairing, all exist over here on the left ear cup They're physical buttons. They work just dandy. All the audio control and such exists over here on the right ear cup, and they're accessed with touch controls, gestures, basically. Now, in theory, there's a very intuitive way to control your audio. I never forgot how to control my audio. The play pause works really well. All you have to do is just palm the ear, just tap it, and that'll play and pause your music, which is great. Forward and backwards, you slide your finger this way, volume up and down, you go this way. I should say it was great to see hardware volume control on the headset. The implementation of it was a little bit strange, though. The implementation of these touch controls are not strange, but just a little bit frustrating. And that's because when you have these on your head, obviously you can't see the ear cups. And so you kind of have to feel around with your finger for these little raised bumps on the ear cup. But sometimes in doing so, I accidentally sent other signals to the to my device when sort of feeling around there. So, if I was trying to find the upper little nub to do a downwards motion to turn down my volume, I might send my finger up there and accidentally slide across and advance my track or something like that. So intuitive in theory, a little finicky in practice. Now, speaking of practice, with practice, I did find that I got better at it, but still, I would kind of have just preferred physical hardware buttons. I don't think the touch control really adds much to it, with the exception of being able to just kind of palm it to play pause. That is nice. It's convenient. The other feature that's activated by the touch here is that touch and talk technology, which is basically just you hold your palm against that ear cup. It will reduce the volume of what you're listening to 20% of what you had it at, and it will activate transparency mode, which turns off the active noise cancelling and uses the ANC microphones to bring in ambient sound. And I found that to work really, really well. It did exactly what it claims to do. I was able to hear and converse with people without having to take my headphones off. And when I was done talking, I could just take my hand off the ear cup and my music would come back up to full volume and carry on. So that part was really good. Overall, I think the controls are fine, but I do think that those touch controls are kind of unnecessary, and I should say a bit too sensitive. There were times where I would take it off my head and I would accidentally do things over here just by touching it with my palm or whatever. Similarly, going to pick it up and put it back on again. Sometimes I'd accidentally activate the controls. Alright, now we're getting to the meat of things. What about the much ballyhooed hybrid active noise cancellation that Mu6 advertises? Well, in a word, it is astounding. It is really, really good. Now, active noise cancellation has come a long way over the last few years. That's my understanding anyway. My last experience with ANC was with another pair of headphones I reviewed from a company called Mixter a couple of years back, and it was fine, but it wasn't impressive. These are truly impressive. The first time I put them on, I literally gasped. I was left speechless for a moment, and I'm not joking either. I just sat there and kind of looked around like I could almost not believe it. These are the kind of headphones you put on and the ANC kicks in and you didn't realize how loud your ambient environment was until that moment. Even if you're in a fairly quiet place, I put these on first in my computer room here. All I had running was my computer, which is very quiet because I designed it to be so. It's in a sound dampening case and all that. And then there's a little bit of building noise, of course, but your brain normally tunes that out. Yeah, you put these on and it's like you are in a cacophonous, environment. It's suddenly so quiet when you put the headphones on. I use them at work, and it's a similar situation there. I never realized how loud the HVAC was in that building until I started wearing these. They blocked out the sound of my dryer running. They blocked out the sound of the vacuum cleaner. They even block out the sound of more stochastic noises. That is to say, typically, at least older ANC was pretty good at blocking out continuous sounds, but less good at blocking out sudden, unexpected, sort of sharp noises. These guys won't block it out entirely, but when I'm typing on my keyboard, when I'm clicking my mouse, even those sort of sharper, punctuated sounds are significantly reduced in volume by the hybrid ANC on these headphones. And again, that's not something I had ever really experienced before with other ANC. So really, really impressive, genuinely impressive noise cancellation performance from the Space 2. I think they earned their name, the Space headphones. It does feel like it's creating your own personal private space. Now, there is a very, very faint white noise that is audible when you have ANC turned on. It is much quieter than other ANC headphones I've used in past. It is not obtrusive in the least. It barely bumps up the noise floor. And the corresponding reduction in external sounds makes it well worth it, in my opinion. The one caveat I should express here regarding the ANC performance on these phones, or rather my evaluation of the ANC performance, is that I've not actually used the modern or contemporary high-end ANC headphone competitors of the Space 2, the likes of the Sony W1000 series or the Bose 700 series. I've not had the opportunity to try those out. By all accounts, their ANC is also very effective, but for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt. But on the Indiegogo page for these headphones, there are some quotes from various media outlets that have tried them out, and one of them does state that it compares favorably, and in fact outperforms the Bose 700 series. So I have not had the opportunity to verify that, but I will say that in a vacuum, at least, these headphones have very impressive noise cancelling. Of course, the other critical aspect of any set of headphones is sound quality, performance. The sound quality of the Space 2 is, in a word, excellent. It is really, really good, and I have honestly pretty much nothing to complain about when it comes to how these things sound. I have only good things to say. The bass is deep with excellent extension right down to 20 hertz. It is warm, it is resonant, it just has a richness to it that sits underneath everything, underpins it all in a way that honestly I've only really experienced in one or two other pairs of headphones and earbuds before. It gives you that feeling that you sometimes get when you put on a pair of premium headphones, that feeling of restrained power, if that makes sense. You get the feeling that these things could easily get way louder, pump out way more sound. It just feels like it's all very tightly controlled. But the bass does this without being overbearing. In fact, the sound signature, the frequency response of these headphones is what I would call very finely balanced. Every piece of it feels well tuned. No part stands out as being too forward or unpleasant to listen to. The mids are beautifully detailed and natural. I was picking out detail that I hadn't noticed in songs and recordings before. Voices sound very natural. Acoustic instruments, very natural. Trebles, not the least bit sibilant, no noticeable distortion or stridency. Very silvery, nicely rounded. The way I would characterize the sound quality of these headphones is rich and lush. Everything just sounds better than most other headphones I've listened to the point that I'm still at this point excited to put these on. I look forward to putting them on and listening to even familiar music because it's just exciting and pleasant, and I pick up things that I don't normally hear. So it's pretty obvious to me that Mu6, although they're not a super well-known company and they don't have that many products out, it's pretty clear that they have somebody or multiple somebodies that know what they're doing when it comes to audio, because yeah, these sound really, really good, and they are easily my audio device of choice right now. I'm using them daily to listen at work. I'm using them at home on my computer, so they've become my daily drivers. And at the price that these are going for the early bird price, at least the $140 price, it is phenomenal, the sound quality that you get out of these things. Honestly, excellent. Okay, we're getting towards the end of my interminable standing here talking to your face about features on these headphones. Just a couple odds and ends left to deal with. The auto pause feature, where when you take these headphones off, the music automatically pauses. Did you notice there as I took them off, that headband, it adjusted without me intending to do that. Like I was saying before, it's too sensitive, too loose. But the auto pause feature, happy to say, works pretty well most of the time. When I take them off my head and I put them down, it works all the time, 100% of the time. When I take them off my head and I put them around my neck, it works some of the time. It'll pause when you take them off your head, but occasionally it would restart. It would start playing again when I hung them around my neck. I assume that's something to do with the proximity sensor being in close proximity to my neck, maybe, or the other ear cup. I'm not quite sure. So just beware that that auto pause feature does sometimes misfire when you hang them around your neck, at least in my experience. Battery life on these things is fine, but not exceptional. It's kind of on the lower end of some of its, granted, much more expensive competitors. For instance, the Sony W1000 series manages to hit, I think, 30 hours or so of battery life, even with ANC on. The Bose 700 series gets around 20 hours, which is what these guys get. So it's not abysmal, but it's certainly not class-leading in any way. I did use them daily at work all day long without charging them for about 3 days continuously with ANC on. And they lasted the 3 days before they finally ran out of juice. So, as long as you charge them every day or two, you'll be fine. But they're not class leading in the battery life regard. The Bluetooth connectivity was great. I never lost connectivity. The range seems good. They passed my, what I call the kitchen test, where I walk from my computer room down to my kitchen about 20 or 30 feet down at the other end of my suite here. And they held a strong connection all the way. Never had them drop connection even once. So good Bluetooth performance. Latency is another place where these seem to do really well. Now, I noticed in the unboxing that they do come with aptX LL, which is the low latency version of aptX. But my understanding is that you need a specialized antenna to take advantage of that, and specialized drivers. I don't think any of my devices, my phone or my PC with a little Bluetooth dongle, I don't think any of them support aptX low latency. So I don't think that was in effect while I was listening with them. Nonetheless, I found them totally usable for both gaming and watching video content. There was a very small amount of perceptible lag when watching video on YouTube, but nothing substantial, nothing that I would complain about. And I would say that the latency on these is the lowest of any of the headphones or earbuds that I've looked at here before. So good performance from a latency perspective. And finally, the microphone on these things. They do have a CVC noise cancelling headphone built into them somewhere. We found it in the unboxing. There it is. It's just that little guy right there. It is, in a word, fine. It is, according to Sarah, who was on the other end of the phone, very clear for the most part. She was able to tell what I was saying without any issue. It does pick up a bit of room noise. It kind of sounds like you're in a bigger space, but that is pretty typical when using these kinds of headphones on Bluetooth headsets. So overall, it seemed to be totally serviceable. Wow. Okay. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about the headphones and my usage experience. I'm going to quickly run down the pros and the cons, the things that particularly stood out to me as really good and really not so good, before giving you my final verdict on the Mu6 Space 2. Starting over here in the pros department, the things that I found really commendable about these headphones. The first thing is they're very, very comfortable. I was able to wear them all day long without any discomfort whatsoever. Second thing is very good, exceptional noise cancellation performance. The active noise cancellation on these headphones is honestly somewhat miraculous when you put them on for the first time. I've never experienced anything quite like it. It was enough to make me pause and go, whoa. So Mu6 is not kidding when they claim their active hybrid noise cancellation is highly effective. Third thing is exceptional sound quality. These things sound really, really good. Like I said, the sound signature overall is very finely balanced with powerful, rich but not overbearing bass, very smooth mids, and pleasing trebles to create this very, what I'm calling a lush sound signature with lots of aural excitement and lots of detail. Just a lot of fun to listen to. I'm also really happy with the variety of smart convenience features that Mu6 has packed into the Space 2, from the touch and talk tech to the auto pause when you take the headphones off. These are very smart headphones. They're packed with all kinds of useful convenience features that, for the most part, work really well. And finally, the Space 2 are competitively priced, especially at the early bird price of $140 on the Indiegogo. The $250 price that they are apparently going to be at after that is definitely pushing into premium territory and edging much closer to the name brand competitors from the likes of these other companies I've been mentioning, like Sony, like Bose. Most of those headphones start around the $300 price point and they go up from there. So $250 is still less, but $140 is incredibly competitive when you consider the feature set and the sound quality of these headphones. Over here in the cons department, the things I wasn't impressed by with these headphones. The first is that they feel kind of fragile. The all-plastic construction really doesn't feel that premium. They have just a lightness about them and a plasticiness about them that means I really wouldn't want to drop these on the ground. I don't know that they would survive the fall. A couple of metal accents, like I said, a bit of brushed aluminum here and there would help add to the rigidity and really improve the feeling of durability, give them that more premium feel. I also wasn't crazy about the implementation of the headband size adjustment. I found it too loose, and honestly it would have been nice to have markings on the metallic part of the headband here, which is a feature I've seen on some other headphones before, that give you little notches just to let you know where you're at, so you can more easily match one side to the other in the sizing. But my biggest gripe was just the looseness. The headphones, or the headband, was adjusting as I took them off my head and put them back on my head when I didn't intend for it to do so. Another thing I was less than crazy about was the touch controls. As I said, they are intuitive and easy to remember, but they're too sensitive, and I accidentally actuated them on a number of occasions when I didn't mean to. Something else on this list is the battery life is somewhat below average, I think, for the sort of cohort that these headphones are attempting to compete with. It's on the lower end. It's still solid at 20 hours with ANC on, but less than some competing products. And finally, I have to say that app, the companion app, is pretty much useless at this point. I did reach out to Mu6 to ask if it was going to be updated with additional features, and I have not yet received a response, unfortunately. It basically offered controls for changing the level of the active noise cancellation, a couple of other basic features, and then a firmware update, which I did attempt. I could never get it to work. It downloaded the firmware, attempted to update it, the headphones restarted, it got stuck in the updating phase. I had to force quit the app. Ultimately, the headphones weren't bricked, so that's good, I guess. But it says they're still running the 1.0 firmware, so the update didn't take. I've also had the issue where on a couple of occasions, the app is unable to detect the headphones, even though the headphones are paired to the phone. So overall, yeah, the app kind of sucks, especially because my understanding is that the Space 1 headphones, which were the former version of the Space 2, actually have quite robust app support. It looks like they have an equalizer and other things like that. None of that's present for the Space 2 yet. It may become available, but as of the time of this review, the app is mostly useless. And here we are at the end of it all, my final verdict on Mu6's Space 2 headphones. What do I think of them? I think they're good. I think they're really, really good. I think that the active noise canceling technology that they use is exceptionally impressive, and I think that the sound quality is excellent. Really fun to listen to. The headphones aren't without a few issues. The build quality leaves something to be desired. The touch controls are a little too sensitive. The app basically sucks right now. But overall, if you're looking for a pair of headphones for wearing in the office, at home for gaming, on public transit or on airplanes, places where you're not going to be super active, moving super vigorously because, while they sit comfortably on your head, they're not super secure. But as long as you're not moving around too much, and you're looking for active noise cancellation, you're looking for wireless functionality, you're looking for exceptional audio quality, and you're not looking to break the bank, then I can really heartily recommend the Mu6 Space 2 headphones, especially at the price point they're available at right now on the Indiegogo campaign. At $140, these things quite honestly feel like a steal. At $250, it becomes a more reserved recommendation. There's still nothing wrong with them, but that's getting within spitting distance of some very capable name brand options. So at that point, you might want to shop around a little bit, but certainly at the early bird $140 price point, exceptional headphones for a very good value. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another relaxing review. I do hope you enjoyed this one. Special thanks to Mu6 for sending over the Space 2 headphones that we looked at here today. And of course, if you'd like to pick up a pair for yourself, the Indiegogo campaign is ongoing. It is active at the time of recording and publication of this video. I believe it's got another week at least as of the time of publication of this video. My understanding is after that the price will go up and they'll be available through Mu6's website. I don't know about other options, if they're going to be sold on Amazon or anything like that. I think they might only be available direct from the manufacturer, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, I do encourage you, if you're interested in these headphones, to go check out the campaign page on Indiegogo. There's lots more information there. you can look at pricing and that kind of things at various backer pledge levels or whatever they call it. So check them out over there. And of course, special thanks to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting what I do here. It means a lot to me that you come out, that you watch these. I know that they're very unconventional, and I hope that's why you enjoy what I do here. I hope you found today's review informative. I hope you found it relaxing, and I look very forward to having you all back here next time for another episode of relaxing reviews. Bye for now, guys.